Lockie Gould, Hub Adelaide. Chaz, question to you. Just what happened between yourself and Brock down there on the track?
At turn 6? Or in the pit lane? Which instance?
Both.
Well, the one in pit lane, I was in the fast lane and there was a car that come out in to the side of me. So that was that one. And then the other one, I was racing Brock pretty hard most of the race, and I know he had a penalty after the pit stop, but that car looked pretty fast. So I wanted to race him as hard as I could and try to cook him as much as we could around here on the streets. And he was pretty fast behind me, but I didn't expect him to have much overlap in the 6, and unfortunately I didn't have my mirror, and I don't know if he was far enough up or not. Obviously the penalty probably says he wasn't far enough up, and that's all she wrote. It's motor racing. It's happened. I've probably done it to 20 other people in this category before, and he come and said sorry, and that's pretty good sportsmanship from Brock, so he deserves a round of applause for that. And yeah, looking forward to racing him hard door to door next year.
Connor, V8 Sleuth. Would you, Chaz, if you had your time again, would you let him pass?
No, not really. I would race him as hard as I could. Like I said, I was saying to Jamie just before we started, I was pretty worried about his pace in clear air, and I cooked him the best I could for most of the race. And obviously we kept ourselves in the race there and was able to just get enough to keep in front for that last stint with the pit stop debacle. But I was worried if I let him go with just under 20 to go, he might have been able to achieve that gap. So for me, I was going to race him as hard as I could. I probably would have let him go in a few laps closer to the end if he was still pressuring me. But at that point, I thought it was probably risky that he might be able to get that gap.
And how did you manage to hang on against Davo and Tommy?
I don't know. I actually said to Sam, my engineer at the time, I said, I think we're done. It was pretty bent in the rear after that. So a lot of rear toe in. I had a lot of smoke coming off the guards at that point. Yeah, it was pretty sketchy. But what you find is you do a couple of laps and then you start to build confidence with the pretty bent car. So I had to change my driving style a fair bit. It definitely wasn't impressive pace at the end, but the laps were counting down and it was getting more and more likely that I was maybe able to get one of these shiny things, which we didn't get yesterday or the last couple of races. So I definitely had a big incentive there to try and hang on, and the team done a fantastic job all race. So it deserved it for those guys and girls at WAU, and I just tried to make my thing as wide as a bus. So I saw Davo after the race. I felt like he was probably the unlucky guy that missed out on getting a trophy today. But yeah, just channeled my inner go-karting years and just tried to park it on every apex.
Bruce, after a couple of difficult races, I mean, what's the emotions for you guys? Probably a win went begging.
Well, there's no doubt we've had a fair bit of speed in the last couple of races, but I'll be lying if I didn't say I was a little bit frustrated at the end, but I think Chaz did an epic job, particularly in the defending when he was holding off Thomas, and Will. But, it's good to have pace, it's good to have speed, and at the end of the day, we're really eyes focused on 2025 now. So, that's a little bit of momentum that we'll build on over summer and come out in 25 and come out all blazing.
And Jamie, I guess your take on, basically everything that happened there, but I mean, Brock, obviously Brock going for the move and Will coming through and picking up the pieces. I mean, crazy race, obviously.
Yeah, Brock's weekend was about qualifying as well as possible and winning both races to try to finish his year off. So we made a little error on the first pit stop and put Brock under a fair bit of pressure there. And then we tried to make up for it in the second stop, and we dropped a bit late and made a second error. So he just needed to get up the road as much as possible. I'm sure the few keyboard warriors will think it was team orders and all sorts of that sort of carry on going on, but I can assure you there wasn't. He was just trying to get past Chaz and get up the road, and unfortunately it didn't happen. So that's the end of the story, but that's why we've got two cars. So if one car bombs out, we've got another one. And lucky enough, 87 was extremely quick and come through and got the chocolates.
Andrew Van Leeuwen from Speed Cafe. Bruce, you mentioned being frustrated towards the end of the race there. Was it frustration at the fact that the contact happened, frustration at the fact that Brock came from so far back, frustration that maybe Chaz could have just let him go? What is the actual frustration there?
I really won't define it in any one thing. You know, like it's just been a long season, and you know, Bathurst, we got everything we could out of the cars, and then we had a couple of things happen at the Gold Coast that really hurt, and we had good pace. I think Mozzie did an epic job. I think Woody did a great job during the race as well. And in that respect, it's what could have been. We come here to win, you know, like it's a very, very proud team. We had a great start with Zach Bates and the Super 2 champion, and, you know, it's just what could have been. So in that respect, all it does is it just lights your fire for 2025. And that's a good thing. So we're going to use it.
Jamie, the attempted redress for Brock after the contact in pit lane with Chaz, was that something that the team communicated to him to do? Did he make that decision to try that?
No, he made that call by himself. It's useless at the end of the day because you're always going to get a penalty, but he recognised that there was an issue. He readdressed, but yeah, he probably should have just got on with it and copped the 15 seconds because it come down to, he was very close to come second in that race after a 30-second penalty with the scrap that went on. Between these two and Davo, so no, he probably should have got on with it, but that was his call.
Jacob Stamen, AAP. Will, how do you sum up your emotions after not only winning a championship, but such a crazy race to finish the year off?
Yeah, I was pretty stoked to finish the year off with that race, to be honest. We were having a pretty good battle up the front there, and Chaz and Brock, and I went around the outside, and then I'm not sure really how far Brody was up. Obviously, I think he ended up getting a penalty, but unfortunate there. Got turned around. Then I literally just had a moment to myself and thought, oh well, there's no pressure. I'm just gonna go out here and have some fun and drive back through as much as I could, and then started picking a few people off, a few more, and then Andrew said we're 7th, and then we're 5th, and I thought, it was pretty cool, and then when I got onto the podium, I thought, oh well, I'm stoked with that after going back to last, and then obviously all the commotion happened up ahead, which I was extremely disappointed about, and then got through for the win. But it was one of those things. It was cool to get the win from what happened.
Do you owe Brock a beer or two for taking Chaz out of the race?
Pardon?
Do you owe Brock a beer or two for taking Chaz out of the race?
A beer? He doesn't drink. Give him, oh, him something probably.
I'll be more than happily to take it.
I'll buy you a few beers. I know you will.
Jamie, how proud are you of both Will and Brock for this season?
Yeah, unbelievably proud. I've been involved in Triple Eight for almost 20 years, and the group we've got at the moment is the best I've seen by a fair margin, and that's no respect to the crews that we've had beforehand. So no, they executed very well. As I've said on the TV all weekend, this time last year we're losing our star driver, one of the legends of the sport. We didn't know what the future was going to hold. We found the cheap bloke that we thought could operate the steering wheel, and now he's gone on to win his first championship, which is amazing. So no, couldn't be prouder of everyone. Very, very happy for Will, his family. Proud of what Brock's been able to do this year as well. There's, he's got plenty of hunger. There was a little bit of burn that he didn't win the championship. So as Bruce said, that'll only help for next year.
Do you think maybe the chaotic nature of the race was drivers, playing a bit, thinking about to next year and treating it as a final?
Yeah. Some people might have already clocked off this morning, ready for holidays. We are in it's a cutthroat sport. It's a dog eat dog sport, but there's an entertainment factor involved, and to finish the movie on a high is a good thing for everybody who takes a wage out of this fantastic championship. So for the sport, putting my Supercars hat on, it was a great day for the sport.
Andrew Clark, Auto Action. Will, you would have won the championship. It was finals as well because you won the race today. I mean, do you think it will change the pressure of this race next year, having to, knowing that that's the case?
Oh yeah, 100%. It's going to be a tough one next year. It's going to be exciting because it's going to be 4 guys that can win the championship at the last round. So it's going to be very high pressure. I felt the pressure yesterday, and I was glad to get it done. Let alone 4 of us being able to win. But that's what we got now. It's going to be cool. It's going to be exciting for everyone at home, and it's a change, and we'll see what it ends up like next year. We won't know until we get here.
Sit down. Did you sit down last night and plan your burnout?
Planned my burn? No, I didn't actually. I didn't plan it. I did think about it this morning. I was going to try hang out like Russell Ingall, but I was too unflexible, so I couldn't get my Hans device out. I'll have to go do some Pilates or yoga.
All right, thanks. Thomas, finishing on the podium, I mean, how important is that for you going into next year as well?
Yeah, it's a nice way to end the year. I mean, going into the summer break with the podium, and I mean, just got to thank the whole team. It's been a really strong weekend. We didn't roll out the quickest as a team, but Cam got the podium yesterday, and we finished 5th, and then to back it up today with the podium. Obviously, yeah, pretty lucky with Brock's penalty, and then there was a bit going on between Chazzy, Davo, and myself, and my engineer Stucky was telling me with about 8 to go that's the effective podium in front of you, and Will put a move on Chaz into turn 8, and then Chaz switched him back into 9, and then I sort of did a switch back on Will. So pretty stoked to finish on the podium and finished in the top 5 in the championship. So it's been a really solid year for us, and I've really enjoyed the whole year with the team and working with Cam, just the two of us, and I think it's been a nice strong year for us. So looking forward to 2025.
Okay, TV has left. Continue. Thank you.
Jamie, you guys don't like losing. How important was it to bounce back with both championships?
Oh yeah, massively. That's what we do. It's, as I said before, it's not a everyone gets a prize sort of a competition. It's a dog eat dog contest, and we worked very hard to get the results. And as I said, we've got a fantastic performing team at the moment. My job now is to try to maintain that for as long as possible.
Will, you mentioned yesterday that the celebrations, it hadn't quite sunk in, so has it started to sink in now?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, it's pretty exciting what happened out there, getting to do the burnout, stand on the roof, all the championship stuff. Like I say, I think the way that race finished off probably highlighted to me how cool the year was. So very glad it finished in that way and not in a disappointing way. But it's definitely sinking in now. It'll sink in over the next couple of weeks, and it's not something to take for granted. It's not something that I might not get the opportunity to get it again. I hope so, but and that's always the plan. But you can't take these opportunities for granted.
Rod, what did you think about the spectacle? I mean, it was probably one of the craziest races we've had for a long time. Is that good?
Yeah, look, it's last race of the year. It's always good to go out with a bang, but I was just saying to someone else before, it was great to see the drivers let their hair down and a bit of, tapping here and there. But, that's what it's all about. And like everyone's been saying, it's brutal out there. Every race meeting we go to, the preparation that goes into it. And you've got to have that hunger, but you've got to be careful on the way too, that you don't give yourself blood noses, because it's all about points all the way to the end. And just today was just a good showing of what the championship and the drivers and the teams are all about. It was brutal again and right down to the last lap, so really exciting.
Been a while since you guys have had 2 drivers in the top 5. What does that mean to you as well? And I guess, for 25 as well?
Yeah, well, it's all about the 1%ers, as we say, like this year. I mean, having even 3 front row, qualifying lockouts. I mean, it's not about the bragging rights of that, but they're all the ducks in a row that you got to start setting yourself up for to go after championship. And I feel with the team going back to 2 cars this year, that we've been able to focus everything on that with the 2 drivers. Cam's sort of going along very strong, but Tom's stepped it right up this year, and those 2 are working really well together. So, you got to have, like I said, all those ducks in a row to get into that hunger game, and I feel we're positioned well for next year, and we just got to keep the things on the rails and just go into it next year and work hard. But the finals, I think, like you just touched on, I think that's a really exciting change in for our sport, and I think going down to the wire and, like Will just said, having 4 participants out there to maybe carve themselves up in the last race will be quite exciting too.
And Will, I mean, how long do you give yourself before you look towards 25 and to be, trying to go for back-to-back titles?
Yeah, God, a couple of weeks, I guess. You're already thinking about it. You want to back up the championship, I'm sure. But it's been a high pressure year at the end of the day, leading the championship. Couldn't put a foot wrong each round. Otherwise, Chaz really closed in the mid part of the year, and we had to step up and get back on top. And then we started to pull a bit of a gap in the enduro season. But at the end of the day, it's sort of, when you're in this sport, you're sort of thinking about it a lot of the time and planning on the future. And, I'll definitely be thinking about next year and the racing, but I'm pretty keen to have a few weeks off, have some fun with some mates, enjoy a bit of relaxation, and then, we'll come back in 25 as strong as we can.
Hey, Thomas, today netted you 5th in the championship, which is pretty cool. So you got in the top 5 there. Your thoughts on potentially getting yourself into the championship for next year and coming here to compete?
I mean, that would be unreal, but I mean, there's a lot. Well, it's such a super competitive championship, so we've just got to be on our A game all year. And as we know, there's so many different format changes next year. There's 34 races next year. We've got different tyre compounds across each race, across some of the events. We've got Friday races, so yeah, we're going to have to be on our A game, as I said, and. I think everyone's going to just keep stepping it up. It just gets more and more competitive each year. So it's a really nice way to end the year, having both drivers in our team in the top 5 in the championship, second in the points for Tickford. But yeah, it would be amazing to arrive here in 12 months' time being in that top 4 contention. But who knows? We'll just put our best foot forward and see how we go.
Anyone got news to announce? Not saying announce it now, but for 2025 driver lineups, junior programs, what have we got looking forward to? Bruce, you got things coming up on the horizon that we can look forward to? A driver announcement soon coming for 25?
We've got an evaluation day coming up on the 29th. So we're putting some young talented drivers into the Toyota 86 and also into our Super 2. So that's pretty cool. Great to see young people have a chance, have an opportunity to step up. So looking forward to that.
Excellent. Thank you, mate. Just quickly, while we've got you, Jamie, Zach Bates won the Dunlop Series today. He's your boy next year. Will's already had a chance to speak about him in the press conferences.
Unbelievable. You're such a thief, Jamie. You take all the talent out there. Unbelievable.
You're looking forward to having the reigning Super 2 champ in your coffers next year?
Yeah, we are. We certainly are. We announced our wild card a little bit prematurely because there's quite a lot of wild card interest next year. So we're hoping we get another shoeing or another shot, I should say, for one sprint round and the 2 enduros. So great to have Lounsey back, and then of course we always want to team up a legend, an established driver with a new up and coming talent. And Zach's done a great job this year. WAU did a fantastic job with him, to be fair, and developed the guy. And now he's developed and he's a race winner. We'll grab him.
How good. Wonderful, Jamie. No, if I could just add to that, obviously we don't have a spot for Zach, and in that respect, it's relief as well. It's like seeing a kid graduate from high school into university, and it's like one day he'll come back, and we're rapt that he gets the opportunity to progress. We're rapt that through the Foundation Academy we get to take someone else through a journey. That's what it's there for. So, he goes with our full blessing. I asked Lounsey not to cock it up, but apart from that, it's great.
And just to clarify, you're going to try and get him on the grid at Darwin, if you can?
We haven't determined the sprint round that we're going to do. So this year it was Darwin, but that might change. But yeah, for sure, get him on the grid for whatever the first sprint round is. So sounds like the ball's in our court, but then it might go back over that way in 3 or 4 years' time. We'll see what happens.
Might be in a Toyota one day. It'd be fitting.
We've got some exciting driver announcements to make.
Please.
Well, given the Bend is an enduro next year, I'm actually racing an enduro at the Bend next week. Hyundai XL Enduro. Yes! I've got a gun primary driver in Charlie Nash. We're running as Tickford Autosport. Rod, do you want to add anything to that? Did I audition okay?
Unfortunately, I'm truck driver and team manager and mechanic for it too, so I've got my work cut out.
You got anything burning, Will?
For what? For driving next year? Hopefully I'll still be at Red Bull Ampol, but no.
We're going to evaluation day coming up.
That's right. We'll see how my off-season goes.
Are you still coming to ours? No.
You back to selling cars this week?
I've got a Bucks party this weekend coming up of Chaz's, so we'll see if I make it through that.
Mad invite.
then-
Thanks, Chaz, for the invite.
Yeah,
Thank
it
you,
was
Chaz.
Thomas's invite, but I'll be back selling cars following Monday.
Excellent. Unless anyone else has anything to add?
Chad, I just want to thank all the media up here for coming on the circus with us throughout the year and all you guys do. I know us drivers are pretty moody. Maybe not me, more Will Brown most of the time when it's not going his way. But honestly, it's a long, tough year, not only for the teams and the drivers, but also for you guys that follow us around. So thank you so much. Have a safe holidays. Merry Christmas with your families. And thanks for all you guys do behind the scenes to actually make us look good. Because
Couldn't have said that
And-
better,
and
Jazzy.
the
pretty
meat-
rough with Will Brown's head, let's be honest.
Couldn't have said that better.
And hey, Chaz.
Win something,
Hey,
you take
Chaz.
everything else, Will.
And the media award for 2024 goes to Chaz Hosted.
Sounds about right.
Actually, last one. Who's your tip for the Jim Richards tomorrow night? Will, you first. You want to win that one as well?
I don't know. Jim
Yeah?
Richards. Best and fairest. Definitely not Chaz. Or, I don't know, best and fairest.
Who got the least penalties?
Yeah, who got the least penalty? There's some dirty drivers out there this year. I don't actually know. Thomas, I actually know you Polax, Brock at Tassie. I'll go Brock. Yeah,
Brock?
Didn't really.
But didn't Brock just turn Mostert?
Chaz out. How can I add him? Yeah. I don't know.
Chaz, you got a tip
Why
for us?
would you ask Will, of all drivers to get feedback on? Doesn't even know what the award's for.
That might count him out tomorrow. Tom, your tip?
I actually don't know. I don't know. Wouldn't be me. I turned Brock twice this year, so I don't think it's going to be me.
Well, I look forward to finding out tomorrow night. Guys, thank you. Thanks for your kind words, Chaz, and we'll see you next year.
Thank you.